I'm delighted to welcome Alexia Latortue today here at the Fletcher School. She is the U.S. Assistant Secretary for Trade and Development and also a Fletcher alumna. Alexia, thank you so much for being with us.
You're very welcome.
Alexia, tell us what brought you to Fletcher in the first place.
So Kelly, I've always wanted to go to Fletcher, even before I knew where I wanted to go to undergraduate school. And it's because my perspective growing up has always been very international. And to me, Fletcher was the school that truly had an international DNA. I was excited about the interdisciplinary approach of the school because I like to connect the dots. And I thought the curriculum offered that possibility to me. And my experience was fabulous. I loved the people. I loved the fact that my colleagues had such different life experiences. So I could just delve into different worlds, not just in the classroom, but also with my peers.
And what about your professional journey?
It's been a great ride, I have to say, including the fact that I never thought I would be working for the government. And I think I was just curious about where I could have impact. And so from a more traditional place where I had imagined myself working for a development consulting firm, working in development banks, I had imagined, I think, that path. I would have never imagined the government path. But meeting great, smart people who were working inside Treasury and working on the issues I care about, I thought, well, I could look at this. And so took a different path that I hadn't thought about and really loved it.
So as you look back to your time at Fletcher, are there certain experiences you had here that prepared you for different roles that you have played over your career?
I often think about Fletcher and how I felt here, which is very secure, very supported, a mix of confidence but humility, which I didn't see in all the other schools. And I sort of liked that about Fletcher, like the sense that we had the world in front of us. We could do a lot, but we had to remember to tread lightly with our power. And it's that feeling of, it calms me down. It gives me a sense of strength. It tells me, okay, if I really listen to what's going on, I will have the tools. I have the tools inside of me to respond well.
So tell us about your current job. What do you do in this role as Assistant Secretary?
It's essentially, we're trying to make the world safer or prosperous. And I focus on helping to work with the development banks to reduce poverty, to work towards inclusive, resilient, sustainable growth. I work on climate change, but very importantly, the adaptation side, particularly for low-income countries, is actually really fundamental. Treasury does not lead on trade, but trade is in my portfolio, so we work very closely with USTR. And then I also cover technical assistance.
How has this world of development finance changed over the last 25 years?
I think development finance is much more central to what I would call the mainstream agenda. Compared to when I worked with Treasury under Obama too, it was sort of, development was its niche, it was important, but it wasn't mainstream Treasury. Now this agenda is mainstream. It's at the heart of what we do because you can't talk about growth without looking at development finance. It really is about how the international, the domestic, financial, capital, debt markets come together to help countries fulfill their aspirations and their goals.
And while the world has overall made really dramatic improvements in reduction of poverty, we still have some serious challenges before us. What really motivates you?
I would say two things, Kelly. The first one is just people I've met around the world, including in some very small villages in Haiti. I look at them and I think if they had a quarter of my education, they'd be running circles around me. So this concept of unfulfilled potential kills me. And then I would say in terms of the moment I'm in right now, I think another driver is we have made progress, but we've seen pretty massive reversals. And I think some of the progress we have made is really at risk because of certain big trends that don't respect borders. And so how to sustain forward moving momentum is at risk right now.
Tell us a little more about how the climate and development agendas are intersecting.
So for me, they are really quite intertwined. And actually, one of the big conversations I've been having over the past year is exactly to put to bed what I considered a very false debate about, is it development or climate? Can you afford climate when you have, pressing hunger in your country? The answer is you can't afford not to think about climate. Look at how agriculture is changing because of changing weather patterns, extreme weather events. And so for me, this is an absolutely holistic agenda.
Yes. Well, I always like to say that climate is like this envelope within which all of our human interactions occur.
I agree.
Well, thank you so much. We are incredibly proud to have you as an alumna of the Fletcher School.
Thank you very much. I'm proud to call myself a Fletcherite.